Right, welcome to episode 7 of the Grab Bag Asian Horror Film Reviews. And since I went first last time, and as we just discussed, I got to go first twice.
Yes.
Megan goes first today.
Yes, and next time.
And next
so
time,
you don't
yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
Oh no, I looked in the bag.
Oh no! Rip out your eyes.
Crap.
I'm looking in the bag.
That was my own rule, and I screwed it up. I like this one. Yay!
Alright!
We've got white,
Yeah.
which is the whole reason why we actually started doing this.
Yes, it was.
Because we wanted to talk about this movie together, and then we just went, hey, we've got a whole big horror movie collection, Asian horror, so let's just do them all. And that's what we did.
Which we do actually have a whole huge horror collection as well.
Yes, true. We have a huge DVD collection, full stop. Yes, this is a recent purchase. One that I personally spotted. I pride myself in this.
Yes. You found it?
Yeah, I saw it on like an obscure, it wasn't on Snowblood Apple or anything, I don't know, it was just a trailer, I think, that I just spotted. I can't remember how, but I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I remember you showed it to me.
And I loved the premise of it and instantly had to see it. And we went and got the DVD.
Yes.
And we weren't disappointed, were we?
No, not even. Not even a little bit.
You tell the story because you're...
I had misgivings on it. The plot device on it, or the plot in a nutshell, is...
it's all in Korean, it's not going to help.
Yes, it's not going to help me. I can't read Korean. It's about a girl band. In Korea, Asia, overall, they have a lot of boy bands, girl bands that are manufactured.
Hugely popular.
Hugely popular.
SM Entertainment being the main
manufacturer
of these bands.
And that's what this is about. It's about a small group of girls, I think it's 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are competing with other girl groups to get the #1 spot.
Yeah.
And this particular group are not doing very well at all.
No. And part of that reason is because of their own lack of dedication.
Yeah.
There's only one of them really that is not afraid of hard work, but most of them don't gel together, and it just generally, they just don't work.
No, the only one,
hard.
like you said, that really works hard is she was a member of another girl band.
Yeah, she was a backup dancer.
A backup singer, a backup dancer or something, and she knows how the business works, and she's really prepared to work hard. Their sponsor buys them a new studio so that they can then practice and get better at what they're doing.
Yeah.
And while they're cleaning out the new studio, the #1 girl,
old backup dancer,
the old backup dancer, finds a whole cache of videotapes.
Yeah.
And they're videotapes of performances of bands that had used the studio before.
Old songs.
Old songs.
Video,
and
music videos.
So she finds one, and it's called White.
Yeah.
And she plays it and really likes the song.
And the manager overhears it,
Yeah.
and then they take it into the studio and have this little conversation. They're like, do we know who did this? Has it been registered? Is it copyrighted?
Yeah.
No one's ever heard of it before, so they go, we'll steal it.
Yes, and we're going to use this
And
song.
when the pop group starts singing it, they use it as their last chance. It's last chance saloon, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
When they get this song, they go, right, we're really going to make it work. For the first time in the movie, they band together, they make it work, and then obviously they become instant hits.
Yeah.
Ultimate fame across the board.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, though,
It all goes,
yeah.
as they say here, it all goes Pete Tong
exactly.
in a colossally bad way.
Yes.
It's a brilliant film. I really sold it a bit short. I wasn't quite sure about it. When I read on paper what the synopsis was, I thought, oh, it's like a cursed videotape. This sounds so much like Ring. But it's nothing like Ring. And it is absolutely brilliant. Scared the crap out of us.
Yeah, well, we watched it at night,
Yeah.
the volume on really
loud.
And it's definitely not, like I've said, I'm absolutely obsessed with this movie. I loved it the minute I saw the trailer. Like, I knew I was going to, I knew it was up my street. But when we saw it, I have to say, me being more of a lover of like psychological horror, I wanted a bit more of that.
Yeah.
It would have been cool and you could have done it. But it took more of a very...
supernatural slant.
Supernatural, very like, boom, scare. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It works well.
Oh, it delivers. It delivers one hell of a punch.
Yeah.
You know, and it even scared me. You know, 53-year-old, guy who's seen just about every film ever made that's scary. It scared the crap out of me. So that's one that we really highly recommend. It's a little hard to find. We had to track it down through Yes Asia.
Yeah, but it's relatively new, so
Yeah.
it won't be out of print or anything. You won't have any danger of that happening. The only thing I just wanted to really quickly add as well was the really great thing about it is the unraveling of all the relationships.
Yeah.
I just want to say, look out for that if you love those sort of subtleties, because it's really great. It's the backstabbing that you associate with pop.
I was just going to say,
Great.
if you take the supernatural bent out of it, it's the story of every band that suddenly becomes successful and how they completely fall apart and turn on each other.
Exactly, like this, lovely calm before the storm where they become famous and all their hard work pays off, and then all of a sudden, now they're famous, they're in articles, they have their own CD now, and in the photo shoot they're going, right, we need to pick someone to be in the centre, and all the issues that were there before start coming out. I really could go on about this forever.
Yeah, I could
so
talk
I need to shut up.
We could talk about this film alone for the entire amount of time of the review. But
and the song is really good.
Yes, the song is really fantastic, very catchy. But yes, first one, White, the Cursed, was it? White?
The Cursed Melody.
The Cursed Melody.
Yeah, that won't help you.
It's in Korean, it's not going to help me. That's the first one.
Okay, number two.
Which is my grab, and I will not look at the back.
Neither will I.
Right. Ooh!
Ooh!
Dark
yay.
Water.
An old favourite. Because we saw this years ago.
Yeah. And this is, what's his name? Hideo Nakata?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ringu Man, isn't it?
Ringu Man, yeah.
Ringu Man. That's how we know it in this house.
Ringu Man. This is an absolutely, excuse me.
Rude.
Crude.
Lewd, crude, socially unacceptable.
Can't dress me up, take me anywhere. This is indeed an old favourite. We watched this years ago during our Blockbuster cinema summer.
And it's also an iconic Japanese horror. I mean, it's one that everyone should know of.
Yes, it has been remade with Jennifer Connelly.
Not a bad remake.
Not a bad remake at all. No, really. In fact, I like it probably as much as this one. But then I do really adore
You love Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, and always have done. Do you hear me, Jennifer?
Don't do it, Jim Carrey, please.
No, I won't do that. I'm not quite that sad.
So Dark Water.
The basic plot is a young woman is searching for an apartment.
She's going through a very nasty divorce with her
I was going to get there.
short husband. I'm helping! Hey, you wanted me to help in these reviews? I'm here.
Sorry. Yeah, she's looking for an apartment with her daughter. And she's not having a lot of luck. Every place they're looking at that looks nice enough that you actually want to live in, she can't afford. They finally find a place, decide to move in, and it's got water damage in it, which the landlord assures her is going to be fixed, no problem.
Lies.
All lies. While all this is going on, the moving into the house, etc., or the flat, I should say, she's trying to carry on her life as normal. She's having to drop her daughter off to school. She's having to go through some sort of legal talks with solicitors dealing with her husband.
Who's horrible.
Who is an absolute prat extraordinaire. You hate him on sight. The minute he opens his mouth and starts talking, you hate him even more.
You just want to slap him.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's basically that all of that's going on, again, like most really good Asian horror films, to a backdrop of supernatural horror.
Going on. Because you find out that the flat above them, which is incidentally causing the water damage.
Yeah. Something just funky's going on upstairs.
Yeah, something very, very odd.
Because there's very few people living in the place.
Yeah, it's
they're
a horrible,
really old,
derelict, falling apart, apartment building, and
Yeah.
it's not got a lot of people in it. I don't want to go into too much more.
No, because I mean the whole plot, I wouldn't say there's a huge twist. It's not really a twist. I think you can pretty much see where it's roughly going.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies though that really, I don't know if you felt the same way, but when I watched it, it was really tense. The whole thing was tense. Like, you just couldn't help but feel that this woman's life was just kind of really getting worse in every corner. Like something kept cropping up, and you just knew it wasn't gonna. The
only really good thing that happens is she gets a decent job. I remember that. She gets a really decent job. But
it's still she's overqualified for the job, but she gets one that pays halfway.
Yeah,
decent.
At least pays, and they can start eating a little bit better and whatever. But you really, your heart goes out to the woman and her daughter right from the very get-go, really. And it's just a absolutely fantastic film.
And I mean, it's iconic. I mean, I think honestly, I think it epitomizes everything about Japanese horror,
Yeah.
really, at its best,
Yeah.
in the fact that, you know, there's something wrong with the family unit, and that causes a supernatural problem, or doesn't cause it, but
It allows it to interact.
with them.
Yeah, with them.
And kind of destroy their lives.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, so if you like that sort of thing, or if you want a good introduction to it, I'd say The Dark Water is one of the best, up there with Ringu. Or
it is definitely as iconic and as much of a cult favorite as Ringu, Grudge, any of the J-horror.
And it'll probably put you off. I forgot what was on the bag. It's Hello Kitty in the new one, but I think it's like Mimiko or
Yeah, I think
Momoko.
it's Mimiko or something, yeah.
Yeah, it'll put you off any like little white bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
Or a red
For
thing.
definite,
It's just anything cute in bag form, you'll be afraid of probably for the rest of your life.
Forever and ever. Right, that's film number 2.
Yeah.
You get, now I looked in the bag that time, but I'm not grabbing, so it's okay.
What is this?
All right.
We've got a good selection this week. We've
absolutely
got
brilliant.
Hansel and Gretel. I watched this because you watched it first.
Yeah.
And then said, Megan, you got to see it, Megan, you got to see it. And then I bought my own copy from HMV because I was so desperate to actually watch it, and I wasn't disappointed.
No.
Although just quickly looking at the front of it, it's saying it's comparing it to Pan's Labyrinth. Not even in the same realm, so don't take that as an indicator of what the film is going to be. It even links A Tale of Two Sisters, and I wouldn't really say that's it either.
No, not even. I think the person that did the jacket on that was on heavy drugs. Because there's no semblance of... No, nothing between any of those. It is a completely unique story in and of itself. And I just got to say really briefly, we did actually talk about this as one of our films in our aborted...
Did we?
Yeah.
Really bad memory, I don't even remember.
Yes, we waxed lyrical about that for a long time.
We'll try and keep it halfway.
Try and keep it halfway short and condensed this time. But it is an absolutely brilliant film. It is Korean. Yeah,
it might be this guy's first foray into movies, I thought. I thought this was this guy's debut.
I think it was his debut.
Pil-Sung.
What's me?
Yes. Storyline, plot. Oh gosh. This guy, his girlfriend is expecting a baby.
It's his girlfriend or his fiancé.
Oh, a fiancé, yeah, something like that.
He's rushing to get back.
And he's just coming back from seeing his mother. Because he's once again shorted his fiancée to go see his mother, and she's really annoyed. And while he's on the phone, I think he crashes.
He crashes his car.
And he wakes up in this forest and gets lost. And in the middle of it, he discovers a beautiful, almost gingerbread-looking house with a lovely family with very sweet children.
But first he gets led there by this pretty little girl with a lamp who says,
"Oh yeah, he takes her." Yeah, but I mean,
she takes him to the house.
He's lost first in the woods before she picks him up.
And she finds him and takes him to this beautiful
but the point is,
house.
he finds this beautiful gingerbread-looking house, and with a seemingly almost bit too picture-perfect family living inside, and they invite him in. And within about 2 seconds of being there, you realise they're really not normal at all.
No.
And it's one of those, shortly after you cross the threshold, you went, man, this was a big mistake. And it all starts to just, I don't really know how much people, because I never saw any trailers, so I don't know how much you would all know if you haven't seen it.
Essentially, what happens is, it all goes horribly wrong. And you find out that the picture-perfect family you met in there wasn't a family at all. The 3 children in there are all part of the same package, but the mom and dad are people that they have actually...
Almost adopted,
forcibly adopted. Because you find out that these are 3 special children.
Yeah. We won't say why
and we won't say why or how, because that's all part of the magic of the film when you find out about it. But they then decide they want this chap to stay, and they adopt him as their older brother.
Yes.
Then things go really, really off in left field when they decide to adopt another mother and father to come into the family unit.
It's almost like, if you've read the children's book, Will You Be My Mother?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, except really twisted and weird.
Yeah.
And it's based obviously around the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
It's another one of those that you can't really go too deep into, because if we talk about all of it, it'll ruin it for you.
Ruin the whole thing for you.
But it very much, I don't want to say it goes in completely opposite direction, because it doesn't, but it does change quite often. Not change movie or style, but the plot will advance into different areas. But don't worry, you'll catch up with what's going on later. It's just, it tends to dip and dive.
And I will just say, when this was released in Korea, it did very badly.
Did it?
It did do very, very badly. It was received very poorly at the cinema. Why, you ask? Because...
Oh no, I remember this on the making of.
Yes. He made it like a Grimm's fairy tale.
And if you
look, it does. It reeks of a Grimm's fairy tale. It smacks of it. It reaches out and grabs you by the eyeball. And Korean audiences felt it looked too European.
That's it.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, because they went to, I remember, ridiculous lengths to get all these, almost, I don't want to say Swedish looking, but they're kind of, that sort of European looking, like cuckoo clocks and, little bunny rabbits and just really amazing set pieces. And they're fantastic, work really well for the movie, and no one appreciated it when it came out
absolutely
in Korea.
Died a dismal death in Korea.
Such a shame.
I mean, it was all right because he did, I think, initially make it for Western audiences anyway.
Oh, did he? Good.
I think so. But
we
I
appreciate
think
it.
he was really disappointed it didn't do well in Korea. I only mention that because we do see a review of it anywhere on the net, a Korean review, and they will not talk nicely about it. Ignore it, because this is a splendidly brilliant film. I
guess the reason why they maybe link it to Tale of Two Sisters, just thinking, is at the end of the movie, it has a very emotional, I think I've just had my heart ripped out and sort of stomped on the ground, as well as quite a bit of a twist, when you find out what is actually going on. Maybe that's why, because there's a moment in it at the end where you suddenly, everything falls into place, and it's quite tragic.
It is, but it's not...
I'm just saying that's the only thing I can think of.
But it's not a psychological type thing at all. It is...
but it's one defining moment, is what I'm saying.
But it is absolutely brilliant. And, that's our third film. So just to go over what we've picked up so far this evening. Number 1, which was White, The Cursed Melody, Dark Water,
and Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. These two, Korean, this one Japanese. And this week, for a change, all three of these are definite must-sees.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously they're in slightly different realms from each other. Because, Dark Water is an icon. It's a classic. If you claim to love Asian horror and you haven't seen Dark Water, you don't know what you're talking about, because it's just one you have to see. These two are absolutely fantastic, but in completely different ways from each other and in completely different ways from Dark Water.
Because this is scary as hell.
But this is very much a modern horror.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word.
In every sense of the word. Yeah. And that's very old-fashioned, and yes, it is creepy and scary.
This is more stylistic.
But it's more stylistic. Very well said.
But like you said, all must-watches.
Yeah, definitely. All must-sees. Right, that's us for this week. So until next time, like I always say, always say, like I always say, keep watching the films and have fun. Bye.
Bye.